I'm John Hubert, and I'm going to talk now about relationship management, relationship management having been the theme of one of the presentations today. And I'm talking to Colin. Colin, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, I'm Colin Brooks. I'm the Global Head of Sub-Custody and Clearing for HSBC.
Okay, Colin, let us carry on some of the discussions that we had this morning. How much value do you think clients really put on a relationship, or is the main focus just on price and cost of delivery?
I think it was fairly clear actually from the panel discussion and from some of the questions, and also from the poll that was done, the online poll, that a huge value is placed on the relationship and on the partnership concept. But I think it's also very clear that you can't just focus on that. You have to make sure that if you are a provider of services and you have a partnership arrangement with a client, that you have to provide competitive fees, you have to provide competitive services, and so the partnership has to be based on a commercial relationship as well.
Tell me, when you talk about a relationship, is the relationship in your mind essentially a custody relationship, or do you think that relationships now are much more group-to-group relationships, of which custody is a component?
Very much group-to-group, I would say. Obviously, as far as I'm concerned, it's the custody relationship that I would focus on. But when a client comes to HSBC, they expect anybody they engage with to be able to represent the whole raft of services and products that HSBC has to offer. So I think very much it's the overall relationship that counts.
The bulk of fees in this business at the moment, they're ad valorem, they're transaction, and to some extent treasury. And everybody is talking about finding new products and new sources of revenue. But do you see any new products or services coming on board that are capable, shall we say, of accounting for 10 or 20% of your total revenue?
Well, I do. I think the broker-dealer back-office products that we offer now and that we've been offering for the last couple of years, added to the new services that we're developing and we're about to launch, I think are very capable of taking up at least 20% of our revenue in the future. So traditionally what a sub-custodian has provided is local market clearing and settlement capability. I think over the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen our broker clients in particular want to extend the scope of the services they receive. So we've moved into the account operator and third-party clearing areas. And now we're moving into the whole of the post-execution space for the broker-dealers. So there's been a natural progression of those services, and I would be very surprised if, say, within 5 years' time, those products weren't accounting for more than 20% of our revenue.
When you talk about post-execution services, could you just give us some examples of the sort of services you're planning to offer?
Well, it's pretty much everything that a broker-dealer does in their back office. But typically, every broker you speak to has a slightly different view as to what it is they would be prepared to outsource. So you might be talking about netting, you might be talking about doing the P&Ls for the different accounts, you might be talking about enrichment, consolidation of transactions. So anything that comes after the execution of the trade. And that way, what we believe is that a broker can focus on their competitive advantages and leave the stuff to another provider that doesn't actually bring them competitive advantage.
We heard this morning the comment that one had to innovate to survive. Thank you, Colin, for talking to me about the innovations you are doing in order to carry on surviving and flourishing. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, John.